Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of the MCR. Mac and me, my name's TJ. Uh, in this segment, we're compelled to discuss the situation and developments of Senator Fetterman from the fine state of Pennsylvania, Senator John Fetterman, who, surprise, surprise, is a Democrat. Uh, he's checked himself into a hospital, and I'm not quite sure we're getting the full story here.
Well, I would dispute that he checked himself in.
Yeah. Well, what I find really strange about this is his wife, she just didn't get out of town. She got out of the country. What the heck is that? She's up in Canada right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is she visiting family? I mean, there may be a reason,
Well,
but you'd think
here's the
she
thing.
would be with her husband.
If her husband's in the hospital, what the heck is she doing in Canada? I'm telling you, there's something there no one wants to talk about. Have you seen pictures of his wife?
I have not.
She's easy on the eyes. Right. Long dark hair, my cup of tea, we could say. But I gotta wonder if she said, "Screw this guy, I'm not going to be no nurse or nanny," because
I have heard of people abandoning their spouses, when they get cancer, like Joe Biden did.
Yeah, I have knowledge of such a situation in my own family, we could say, but just what the news report I read was because he was by himself, and it almost sounds like he's not very good to be around. He hasn't recovered from his stroke. He's in a stressful job. No one is there to take him by the hand and take care of him. And he's checked himself into the hospital, for lack of a better description, as being he simply can't take care of himself, even in the basic needs: feeding, clothing, personal hygiene. I believe that was even brought up. And
if he can't feed himself, he's certainly not cleaning himself. That would be a given.
And so the suspicion is, that's they're saying he's suffering from depression, and there could be truth to that, but the side effects of it all is he's just not taking care of himself, and to the point of being dysfunctional. Even just this morning, I read a news report. They're wondering if he's close to being brain dead, and that's just a suspicion. That's just a suspicion.
Well, while I don't care for the guy's politics, I certainly don't want that to happen to him. But the guy has never looked well to me. Even before his stroke, he didn't look well. I mean, if I saw him laying on the curb on Las Vegas Boulevard, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, one of the concerns that I read in today's news report is that the Democrats are trying to play this down because they don't want a special election. It's like they pulled off the first one. They don't want to have to pull off a second one. And when I say pull off, I think we all know what I'm talking about here.
Well, I think he rather handily beat Dr. Oz, didn't he? If my memory serves me correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, but I always go back to that Philadelphia county where Philadelphia is, Pittsburgh, Erie. You know what? They're as bad as us with our Wayne County. You know,
in other states. This is not unique to Pennsylvania or Michigan. Wisconsin has their Milwaukee area that dominates. People like democracy. So
well, I took down some information. I guess CNN did a report on this situation, and they talked to this psychiatrist from Florida and why they were compelled to talk to this psychiatrist from Florida. And the guy's name is Dr. Daniel Bober, Bober.
Okay.
And they had him quoted as saying, generally, the reason that someone presents to a hospital for a psychiatric condition like depression is because either they are acutely suicidal or they have been deemed unable to take care of themselves. And when I say unable to take care of themselves, I mean their basic needs: food, hydration, hygiene are all the things that they are required to do on a daily basis. And they are unable to do this due to the severity of their depression. So I guess what CNN is trying to spin is the guy is, because it looks like he's not taking care of himself. I think CNN's trying to spin it as that's just how bad his depression is, you know.
Well,
But
as I understand it, people who have strokes and can't do all they used to do get very frustrated,
oh
and that can certainly cause you to be depressed.
yeah, uh, you know, and I'll go back to what I was saying, how the wife just didn't get out of town; she got out of the country. You know, then that's messed up. I mean,
That's an
that's
oddity for sure. I mean, might there be another reason? There might be. I can't imagine what it is, but to be fair, we should consider that, I think.
and you
And
know,
he's no different than Joe Biden.
yeah, oh yeah, big time, big time.
Joe Biden again fell up the stairs. So he's going to kill himself on the stairs of Air Force One, all for the photo op we've seen 100,000 times with other presidents walking up and down the stairs or standing at the doorway waving, yeah, whatever. But Gerald Ford slipped and fell down the stairs a couple of times, and Ronald Reagan was 80 years old and he didn't fall down the stairs, and we know he had cognitive issues.
Uh, there's the video. I guess when he was in Ukraine, his little sneak away to Ukraine,
Yeah.
he wasn't even able to stay on the red carpet. You know, as he was walking, he veered off the red carpet, and they had to steer him back onto the red carpet. You know.
Well, on Sky News, I saw a story on Sky News where, and this is our standing in the world, by the way, uh, where an Australian reporter was watching a clip of a bunch of Biden gaffes and how he wanders away from the podium and like he doesn't know where the hell he's at, and people got to run up and grab him, and all these gaffes, and not being able to stay on point for 2 seconds, and they were literally laughing so hard they had to wipe away tears. Can you
Well,
imagine that? All
that's
because of mean tweets. That's why we needed this decrepit old. He was never that sharp to begin with, I would tell you. But now I actually have sympathy for him because he's no human being should be treated this way.
well, back to the Fetterman thing. I do have sympathy for the guy in that. I've witnessed a similar scenario
Yeah.
in
Hey,
in my personal interaction.
people would say,
But
why do you have sympathy for that guy? And you just said why. But you know what? For the grace of God, go you and I. But for the
well,
grace of God, go you and I.
yeah, I mean, if you want to be a mean-spirited person and say he's got that coming, you know, whatever. But for a person to be unable to even take care of his own basic needs, and the person who ought to most love him bail on him, that's messed up.
Yeah,
That's messed
I don't
up.
think anyone in our audience would disagree with that.
So, I mean, this is the guy who legitimately defeated Dr. Oz.
I'm
I,
hard pressed to believe that.
I, as am I, as am I, and the Democrats are worried that now they're going to have to go through that again. But you know what? They did it the first time. I'm sure they could pull it
Well,
off
you know
again
what?
if they had
Maybe
to.
maybe Oz runs again.
Yeah, and maybe
Not that I was any fan of his either, but
yeah. Well, true to that. I got on the Fetterman thing. It's just
okay.
it's a messed up situation, and you know what? I would tell you this. This is an example of the Democrat pragmatism. They would take this guy and run him through the ringers like this for their own political ends. You know,
Yeah. Well,
I
we've
mean,
seen other examples on a much larger scale of what they're willing to do to people to get power.
yeah, and you know, and I suppose maybe Fetterman was fine with it at the time, and maybe he's come to a realization. I mean, when people hit the lowest of lows in their life, reality, kind of sets in, and they think, "Oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into here?" I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing, but clearly there's more to this story than anyone is willing to admit.
Yeah,
And
two
I'll
votes for Chuck Schumer is what it sounds like to me. That's why they
Yeah.
want there.
So that's all I got on the Fetterman thing.
Okay.
Any other thoughts or
No, that's about it for me.
okay? Well, I guess in a weird sort of way, I would hope he recovers. That way would be cruel and inhumane, perhaps, but
Yeah.
in any event, hopefully he recovers. And I'll just leave it at that. Catch you in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.